Welcome to NinjaCast, a photography podcast powered by Studio Ninja, the world's highest rated business management app, built specifically for photographers. Listen and learn as the most successful photographers on the planet share their knowledge to help you transform every element of your photography business. Here's your host, Sally Shaw.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of NinjaCast. Today I am joined by Mexican photographer Fer. I am so excited to have him on the show. He shows so much passion and enthusiasm for being a wedding photographer and just for life in general. A slight word of warning, if you don't want your little ones to hear any explicit language, just pop those headphones in for this episode. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready because Fer's about to rock your world. There he is!
Yeah, what's up?
How are you then? How's things?
Good. It's cuckoo as everywhere here in Mexico. It's everybody's like fighting in their own. It's hard to make an effort, a team effort. So you just have to take care of your loved ones, and that's it.
Absolutely, take each day as it comes.
Yeah. So I'm keeping really busy, like rebuilding the website. I have a Patreon community that I'm always producing stuff for them. So it's like go. Like it's been okay for us. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I'm really glad to hear that. That's great. So for our listeners perhaps that may not know a great deal about you or have heard of you before, Fer, can you perhaps tell us a little bit about you and your journey in business so far?
Yeah, well, I'm a wedding photographer. Now I think I'm going to change that tag. It has to be like live photographer or something like that.
I love that.
Yeah. I've been doing photography and living full time for the last 14 years now. I am based in Monterrey, Mexico, or Mexico, as we say it here. And yeah, my journey, it's been starting shooting local weddings, and then I started to educate myself in different conventions and workshops. And then I say, okay, let's see what else, how can I change? Because I get bored pretty easily. So if I only wanted to shoot local weddings, I will not do it. I need the change of landscape, the change of like size of weddings, the change of cultures.
Yeah.
So I started to do more destination weddings, especially inside Mexico. And I'm a lucky bastard. I have a beautiful wife, 3 beautiful kids, and health. So yeah, I can't complain.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's fantastic to hear. I know I saw on your website that you're very close to your wife, aren't you? You speak about your wife a lot on your website, which I think is really beautiful, really lovely. I felt like I knew you guys as a couple just by looking through your website and learning about you. It was great.
Yeah, it's that's one of the biggest decisions, no, that you had to make. It's not only about, oh, she's beautiful or he's gorgeous. It's like, okay, can we make a decent team? Even on the heart, we have based our life in trying to chase something that we love. Like for us, like making money, it's not about, oh yeah, I make a lot. Yeah, no, it's more about how we make money and following and chasing a passion. We've been like stubborn enough to handle like the low times, the middle times, and the good times as well, and seeing everything as a whole.
Definitely. It's like the whole journey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And when you're down, you have to laugh at it as well.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be Kardashians, if you do a decent amount of money, take care of it, or invest in some other place and take care of the education of your kids and yours as well. So it's not about showing off. And here a lot of people follow that lead, like I want to provide to my kids a better life than I have. And it's like, dude, like just stop, man. Like they need you and your time and your energy. They don't need fancy stuff.
Definitely. Children always value the little things in life, don't they? I think that quite often kind of brings us back down to earth sometimes. We think we need to be spending this money taking them to these places when, actually they just love spending time, sitting on the sofa, watching a movie with you and eating dinner together.
That's it. That's it. Even toys, like you want to have like the newest, brandest, fanciest, hottest toy, and then my kids just built like bows from wooden sticks, and that's it. So you only need like something stupid like rubber to make it, and that's it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. So how
Mhm.
about your business then? Can you tell us where you started in business?
Yeah. Well, I started in a crazy way because I was doing photography and video at the same time. So like I was using like two like video cameras before SLRs, and I was using tripods, and then I put one here, one there, and then I took like still photos, and then 5 minutes later I moved the cameras to look like a Hollywood production. You know? Yeah. And so I studied in college mass media. I wanted to live behind a camera. That's it. I didn't knew weddings or films or commercial or newspaper, and I have tried everything except like the Hollywood stuff. I have only done like indie, tiny productions, but yeah, like it's been a beautiful ride, and I never expected to be shooting weddings. 14 years ago, it wasn't cool to be a wedding photographer.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, really, weddings, like, because here in Mexico a lot of what's expected of a wedding photographer, it's a human being that photographs you like a fancy, I don't know, like a fashion picture that like she's wearing this and he's wearing that, but then after the ceremony they go to your table and they sell you that picture for like €5.
Yeah.
No, that was a wedding photographer.
Uh-huh.
So I was lucky enough, me and some other really amazing Mexican photographers, that we were able enough to climb to the first wave of not so crappy wedding photography.
Uh-huh. Redefining it.
Yeah, and it wasn't redefining. It was just, okay, what are the Americans doing? And okay, let's Mexicanize it.
I love that.
Yeah. One of my heroes back then was a guy from the UK, Jeff Askoff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was back then. He was shooting like Leica cameras and old film, and I still remember like watching those images were like, holy, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's not like super flash, big production. No, just simplify, being like a tiny Mexican ninja. And that was it. And I got inspired by all these big names, and then it was my turn to try to apply that information.
Yeah. Now you're one of the big names.
Well, it's relative, wedding photography. It's a little tiny dot in the universe. So I think if you believe the hype, you're fucked, or you're screwed. Sorry for the F-bomb.
That's okay.
Because yeah, like insecurity, it's one of my biggest like drives.
Yeah. Definitely. So what's the most important part of being a wedding photographer for you? What makes it you get up every day and go, my God, I'm a wedding photographer?
Well, it could be any other kind of photography, but I think that wedding photography, if you are willing to suffer the consequences of fighting to find your own voice, it can give you a lot of freedom. And I love that. I love breaking all those cliches that we have in any industry, and asking the what if. No, what if I do this like that, or what if I don't follow any wedding photographers and I try to apply cinematography into wedding photography, or what if I listen to a soundtrack while I'm shooting a wedding and I'm being inspired by the music instead of the emotions that your couples are feeling. So I think the sandbox, it's huge if you allow yourself to do it, and at the same time you can make pretty decent amount of money, so you can create and provide a good enough life for them.
Yeah, definitely. And have you ever done that? Have you shot a wedding to the sound of music?
Oh yeah.
Really? And how did that go? Tell us about that.
It's there's a Bose, the audio company. They have like these sunglasses that it has like tiny headphones or speakers, and you can change the lenses, so you have your own lenses there, and it's magical because it's like you're in a different planet, like you're just smiling it's like being high in a way, you're just, I don't know, you react differently. If you watch a very romantic movie without a soundtrack, you might be like, I don't like, I don't know, the sound of the tongue when they're kissing, or I don't know, or if your smell it's so powerful, you're gonna be like, ugh. So for me, like, music transforms everything that's in front of me. Even in a rehearsal, or just if you want to do some like a day after session or engagement session, if you don't want to go crazy, try it and tell the couple, hey guys, just, you're gonna see me like a mad person, but just ignore me, just do your stuff. And I don't know, I think you flow differently.
That's amazing. I've never heard of that before, but I would love to do that. I love music. I put music on when I'm cleaning the house, when I'm going walking the dogs, when I'm in the car, when I'm on my way home from a wedding. And I've never, ever thought to try and shoot while playing music.
Yeah, well, you have to be a little bit selfish, or people might think that you're a little bit dumb as well, because you're like, yeah, I'm doing this. But I don't know, I remember when I have work in places that they don't speak my language, or English, and I feel so free as well.
Yeah.
Because a smile, it's a universal language. So if you keep smiling, everybody's going to be all right. Yeah.
Have you ever
except during the group shots as well, that on the group shot you have to turn it off.
Yeah. Have you ever found that you end up like dancing or doing your own little thing in the middle of a wedding?
Oh yeah. I'm always air drumming. I was a drummer before, so I'm always air drumming and just feeling my rhythm, and it can be just like very ambient music, like Sigur Rós, or just like instrumental, but it's extremely inspiring.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, because every wedding, sometimes they have the same freaking music, and you're like, oh, here comes this one, and then this one, and it becomes a game that you know which songs playing next. So I love it like that. Yeah.
We know that well over here in the UK. Each year we have like the top 5 songs that you can guarantee will be played in the ceremony and the first dance at every wedding.
Yeah, and sometimes I became a little bit like grinchy, because it's like, dude, you know the song, come on, it's like, so, and for you, you might have heard it like for 10 times that month, and it's like, oh, here we go again. So it's a really beautiful way to detach yourself. I don't believe that you have to be like the best friend of the bride and groom to have beautiful images. I prefer to consider myself like an external entity, that I have to capture it, no matter if they're like amazing with me or if they're like bad persons. I don't care about their personalities.
And do you find that, do you make that attempt to make that connection with the bride and groom, or the couple that you're shooting on the day, or do you find that actually you introduce yourself but then you're very much in the background and just capturing things as they go?
Yeah, I already have my best friends, like I see a lot of photographers that we went to have a cup of coffee and then we spent 6 hours, and I have kids, I want to go and I want to spend time with them.
Yeah,
because at the beginning of my career, I don't have a studio, I don't have a physical place, so I went to different cafe shops and we talked, and it was like, they were gonna book me, and then nothing, so I don't do it anymore. It's like I have based my website and my social media to sell my craft and my art, and not my personality and my interest in human beings. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm a photographer.
Yeah, absolutely. I know from viewing your website myself, this is the first time that we've spoken kind of face to face virtually, if you like. But I felt like I knew you just from looking at your website. I felt like I knew what was important to you and the things that you loved about weddings and why you were a wedding photographer, which is, what every photographer's dream is, that their website sells them that well. What's your secret there? Do you have any tips for people that maybe are looking to improve their website to represent them more?
Well, like be super honest. If you suck at writing, hire someone else. Like all the words that are there, I photographed a wedding like 10 years ago, and the groom, he's a writer, and he helped me out with that. Like we had a couple of beers, and I say, so you have your wedding images. Now, please help me figure it out who I am as a person from A to Z. Because I can't write. I'm not a poet. I'm not a poetry or a poet. Sorry, I'm just a photographer. So I think you need help, and you can do exchange. Like I take your pictures, your family pictures, and you help me with all the copy on my website. I think, yeah, even design as well. You can see when the photographer make their own logo. When they're not graphic designers, you can see, so it's always amazing to be humble enough to say, I suck at all this, I need help, and then you bring your talent.
Definitely. Your logo actually was amazing. It was one of the first things that kind of drew my eye to your website. I was looking at your logo for ages. So where did you get the ideas from that? What was your concept?
Well, that's a rule that I break every 2-3 years. Like they say, no, once you have your logo, keep it for eternity. And it's like, come on, like we're like super independent brands. So for me, every 2 to 3 years, I change like website, I change copy, I change logo, I change everything, even if I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we have to be always evolving, and it's not always forward. Sometimes it's like sideways per se. But for me, every logo represents or needs to represent my mantra in life, that I want to be a dreamer, but with the feet on the ground. And that's it. So every time I find a designer that I admire and respect, I only give them that text or that quote, and they do whatever they want. I don't say I don't like it. It's like, thank you, and then I use it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, it's you trust them, right? And you want your couples to trust you. So imagine if I receive this amazing illustration, and it's like, and I trust the creator, and I'm like, no, I think it needs to be purple. It's like, come on, like you're hiring them because they're talents. So let them create.
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. So you obviously shoot lots of lovely weddings, beautiful weddings in lots of different parts of the world. Can you perhaps tell us about one of your favorite weddings so far?
Well, the one I shot 10 years ago, I still with me in my heart, and even I have a necklace from that wedding.
Oh.
Because I received an inquiry like, hey, are you available this date? My wedding is gonna be in this country. And I was like, someone's joking with me, like a friend is making a prank, because it was like to the other side of the world. And I was just been shooting weddings for like 4 years. So I was shooting mainly like locally, and usually Americans flying to Mexico to get married. So and you know when you receive an inquiry that it's very like plain.
Not
like
much detail.
Not much details. It's not like, I love your work, nothing. It's like, are you available? and sometimes that it's a prank, or someone wants to know how much you charge.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you never know if the bride or the groom, if they're working and they're just like trying to hide what they're doing, right? So I replied to that bride. Her name is Mary, and I went to New Zealand to photograph this beautiful wedding. And for me, that wedding opened the world of possibilities. Like, okay, I can do this. I can travel and photograph weddings illegally, but don't tell anyone.
That's a bit late for that now.
No, but it's like that. It's like, okay, like my talent took me to that place. So what's next? And it's like like baby steps, right? And yeah, you need to be patient, and you need to have a focus. Like at the beginning, my website was in Spanish, and then I say, okay, I want to do more international, so I changed it to English. So it's just baby steps. But usually when I photograph outside Mexico, the bride or the groom are photographers. Like they knew me from a workshop or a convention or something like that. It's very rare that random people find me online and say, hey, come over here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that you shoot a lot of kind of tourist weddings in Mexico? Do you find that you shoot a lot of people flying into the country just to get married, or is it more so people that are living in Mexico?
Usually, I think it's be like 60-40 nowadays. So because Mexico it's cheaper than Canada or America to get married. A lot of people, they come here, they do their wedding in like all-inclusive hotels, and then they just book you, and that's it. Or sometimes they go to these like hipster places like Tulum or Bacalar, and it's a different kind of wedding, but it's beautiful. So sometimes I photograph like massive Mexican weddings, well, back then, and sometimes it's like just a small elopement. So I love the diversity.
Fantastic, lovely. So what's your biggest inspiration for your work? Your work is, I feel like it tells so many stories just in one image. Do you have an inspiration for your wedding photos, other than just kind of a person that you aspire to in weddings?
Well, I think my biggest photography hero of all times, his name is Rodney Smith. He's an artistic photographer. He never shot weddings, but you can use his pictures as weddings. And I think what I learned from him and so many other people, it's like to see life as a dream, and to like your imagination can be part of what you're photographing. You don't have to be so like literal, oh, there's the bride, there's the groom, and there's the beach, shoot. So like leaving a little bit of mystery on every picture, and trying to reimagine what's in front of you, it's been my biggest inspiration.
Do you find you shoot quite out of the box a lot of the time? You wouldn't just shoot kind of the safe images?
I try to do everything. So I try to cover my ads first, like to capture whatever they want, the normal traditional stuff, and then I try to make it as fast as possible so I can have enough time to create for me.
Yeah, and do the things you want to shoot.
Yeah, because at the end, your portfolio can be like a liberty access, like carte blanche to create, or it can be like a big I don't know, if your portfolio is based off traditional stuff and then you want to be creative, it's going to be hard. So you need to guide your future clients to say, this is how I shoot, this is who I am. Are you sure you want me to photograph your amazing event? So it's, I think like social media and portfolio has to be very, very strict, like a museum. We have to only show a little bit of what we do the best, and if they get interest, okay, show them like full weddings.
And how do you find that you guide that client experience? Do you feel like you very much set expectations for your couples so that they know exactly what they're going to get before they even receive their images?
Well, for me on my website, I have like a big warning sign, like if you hire me, for me a wedding or your wedding becomes an experiment. So with that, like they're crazy if they want me to do super traditional stuff like 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing we have to keep reminding them. And sometimes during the wedding day, if I have shot like, I don't know, like 45 minutes of like traditional stuff, I say, hey guys, remember, I'm here to capture how you feel instead of only how you look. So let's cut this part of the day and then let's continue telling your story.
So talk us through that. Like, I've never heard that before. That's the very first time that I've ever read on a photographer's wedding website. Your wedding day is essentially an experiment to me. How do your couples receive that? What's the thought process behind that for you?
Well, I want to filter as many traditional brides or couples as possible. That's my goal, because imagine if you get married and you receive your pictures and you don't like them. So I think for me, it's all about becoming like a niche brand. Like I don't want to feel like stadiums. I want to be the independent musician who has a decent enough following, who admires whatever you create. So for me, it's a guide. Like that's why on my website I don't show like a lot of like super smiles. I crop a lot of heads. It's like, welcome to my universe. If you feel afraid, get the fuck out of here, as fast as you can, because yeah, I'm gonna create for you during the wedding day. I do whatever they ask me.
Yeah.
So it's more like a big warning sign before signing the contract.
Yeah.
It's
And how
like
does that
our
how does that affect your perspective on the day? Do you feel that you shoot weddings a little bit differently because of that?
Yeah, it gives me the inspiration to see every wedding as a piece of art.
Mm.
Because I don't know if you know, but I'm certain that a lot of photographers that after, I don't know, 6 to 7 years of shooting weddings, they're just burnout.
Mm-hmm.
No, they just like, oh, here's another freaking wedding. I had to go and shoot.
Yeah.
So you have to give yourself access and freedom to create something unique, that maybe something magical is going to happen in front of you. But if you're not being honest enough, it's going to become like a 9 to 5.
Definitely. So as well as being an insane photographer, you also run workshops, and you've already mentioned that you have your Patreon account as well. So you do talks all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit more about that side of your business as well?
Yeah, it was just like saying yes. I base my life in that, into what else? What else will I be doing if I'm not in another place? And yeah, I have a family and I have my kids, but you have to understand that it took me like 30 years to believe in myself. So for me, now that I have the opportunity, or when opportunities come my way, I want my kids to be inspired. Like, hey, my dad, first, he was a happy adult, because I have seen that adulthood, it's not great for everyone. That you just change and you became like this worrying machine.
Mm-hmm.
That, oh, I have to pay this and I have to pay that, and you just forget to smile. And I love being like Peter Pan. So when the opportunity to teach came, I wasn't ready. I was like, really? You want to learn from me? Okay, let's try. And if I suck, I will stop. And I think that's the idea. We have to try it at least once, and then make decisions later, but not based out of fear.
Amazing.
And the educational part, I think, when I was starting, it was harder to get like the golden nuggets. Everybody was a little bit selfish, or it was freaking expensive to learn from the masters or whatever. And for me, it's like, hey, here's the information. I don't want them to see me like a mentor, or that I'm above. It's like, this is my path. You're able to do that as well. So it's more like a camaraderie, instead of I'm this guy and you're that tiny dot. It's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that.
Definitely. So what's your best memory, your best experience that you've had whilst you've been teaching and helping other photographers?
Oh, well, I have come and gone to different places, like a few times. And I remember a convention I did in Brazil. It was like a massive one, like almost 2,000 people were there. And after my talk, I went with this guy, and he was telling me that he was a painter, like not like an artistic painter, like he was painting houses. And then I went back like 2 years ago, 2 years after, and he was like doing full on photography. And he was like I needed your kick in the ass to make that decisions, So I think that like there's this beautiful book by El Luna. It's called like The Crossroads of Should and Must.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's that it's about trying to help people find their potential, and forgetting about all the fears that as an adult they keep growing. So it's for me, I'm very lucky and blessed to be able to inspire a few people here and there.
Definitely. It must have been lovely to see him grow over those 2 years. You met a painter decorator, and then you went back and he was a full-time wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I have so many stories like that, but it's and again, it's not like I don't feel touched. Like, it's like, if you have a chance to help someone, please do it.
Yeah, take it, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have perhaps any tips that you can share with our listeners in regards to marketing, of people that are just starting out or people that just want to give their business a bit of a refresh?
Okay. Well, for me, at the beginning, when I knew that I wanted to become like a niche photographer, I worked a lot for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shooting weddings in a very traditional, conventional way. And then I gave like day after sessions for free. And I say, hey guys, I want to experiment. I want to play a little bit. Like, if you're willing to put your dress on again, let's create something beautiful together. And little by little, like my free work became my style.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to allow yourself to get lost. Like, don't try to define yourself. Like, I'm the flash photographer or I'm the fashion photographer. Shoot every kind of photography. I was afraid of photographing human beings at the beginning, and now I'm a freaking wedding photographer. So yeah, you have to try to everything, like from like boudoir to weddings to families, because once you find your style, you can translate your vision into any kind of photography.
Fantastic. That's really inspiring. Thank you so much. If you could perhaps give one final piece of advice to our listeners, it doesn't matter whether it's business or personal, what would you say that the most important piece of advice you could give is?
I think we need to educate ourselves from any kind of art or how say like any kind of craft in life.
Mm-hmm.
I lose my thought. Shoot, sorry. I
That's
was so
okay.
pumped and
That's okay, don't worry.
yeah, well, like to simplify things, I think that as photographers, learn the technicalities, but always ask once you're in front of a piece of art, is it making me feel something, or I'm just excited because it's a masterful perfection piece of like, it's sharp, the colors are like Pantone, blah blah blah. We have to be able to be above the technicalities of our craft and see and ask ourselves, what do we want to make our audience feel? Because on weddings it's so easy, and I still remember, like, why a wedding photography has to be attached to a freaking kiss. Why do we have to focus all our pictures in love, in and sometimes love in a very like soap opera-ish version? So there's different like tonalities, like and my story and my mission, it's always trying to find like those creators who find like the in-betweens, and then try to become one.
The unique.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah. I don't want to be the best. I just want to be different than.
Yeah. Stand out from the crowd a little bit.
A little bit. 0.5%.
If you could start all over again and you had to do your entire career and your life from scratch again, is there anything that you'd do differently?
I think I will say to myself to not be that afraid. No, that the instability and the big question marks are part of your inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
That the fear has to become like your fuel instead of paralyzed. So I think I will try to like even share more and say yes more as well.
Lovely. Fantastic. If our listeners would like to find out a little bit more about you or they want to get in touch, how can they do that, Fer?
Well, you have to Google José Fernando Juaristi Larracoechea. That's my full Mexican name. No, yeah, I'm Fer Juaristi everywhere. Fer stands for Fernando, because sometimes it's like, what? Fer, far. So yeah, it's Fer Juaristi everywhere.
Fantastic. That's lovely. Well, it has been such a pleasure chatting with you. I can't thank you enough for carving out the time to come and chat with me. It's been a really inspiring conversation. I feel like I could go and shoot like 50 weddings now and love each and every one of them, one after another. So thank you so much for that. And hopefully we will speak to you again very soon.
Thank you, Ninja Sally. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Fer. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. That's everything for today, guys. Thank you so much to Fer for joining us on the show and for sharing such an insight into his business and his personal life. For the show notes or to head over to Fer's links, you can go to www.studioninja.co/episode 9. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of NinjaCast, brought to you by Studio Ninja. Beautifully designed and super easy to use, Studio Ninja will help you manage your leads, clients, shoots, invoices, contracts, workflows, and so much more. To learn more or start your 30-day free trial, go to www.studioninja.co.